Hey guys, it's the Knitting Maniac again. Today I'm going to teach you my favorite cast-on method, the long tail cast-on. You ready to go? Let's get started. This cast-on method requires one needle and your yarn ball. Now instead of adding your slip knot right here with a little short tail, you're going to make a long tail by pulling on your yarn like this and then adding your slip knot. So you pick that up onto your needle. How long your tail is really depends on how many stitches you're casting on, and it takes a little practice to figure out how much tail to leave so that you don't run out of the tail as you're casting on. So you can see how hanging from your needle it forms an upside down V, or I call it a tent. So you take your thumb and your index finger, go between your tent, and with the rest of your fingers grab around the other yarn end so that this tightens this up here, like this. Now you take your needle and you pull it back like a slingshot, and with your needle tip go around to the left. Don't slip that off your thumb, just go underneath that piece of yarn and then go over to the yarn that's coming off your index finger and grab it with your needle. Now you're pulling that through right here and dropping the yarn off your thumb, and that's your first cast on stitch. So go around to the left, under this piece of yarn, go over to the right and grab that yarn and pull it through this hole and drop the yarn off your thumb. Now you can see as you get going, you don't have to take the yarn off your fingers at all. You just go over to the left, over to the right, pulling that through, drop it off your thumb. And after you drop it off your thumb, just grab that yarn with your thumb to help tighten it up, and then you're right back in position again. So over to the left, over to the right, pull it through, drop it off, tighten it up. And that's how you do the long tail cast on. It's my favorite method. I've learned that with this size yarn, which is a worsted weight, I need about 12 inches for every 20 stitches, but it really depends on the size of your yarn, the thickness, and how many stitches you need to cast on. You just don't want to run out of yarn tail. So I usually do mine even way longer than I would ever need, and then just trim it down when I'm ready to start knitting. So I made this little swatch to show you the end result. It's a nice elasticy edge, and it's a smooth edge. The reason I love this cast on method is it's also your first knit row. So when you make this cast on edge here like this, it will have a purl bump on the back. So it's actually your first row. So if you're a beginner knitter, you may not understand what I'm talking about, but if you're an advanced knitter, you'll know what I mean. So the long tail cast on method is one that I use for almost every project I knit. So thanks for watching.